Hello, good morning to everybody in North America and for everybody else around the world, wherever you're streaming in from. Welcome. My name is Terry Chiplin. I'm the event director for the US Trail Running Conference and this webinar series. And we're very excited to have with us a panel this morning of different race directors who are going to be taking part in the conference this year. We're missing one at the moment. Another race director is due to join us, but seems like he's maybe having a technical issue. But we'll move forward, assuming that he's going to join us a bit later. And so before we do anything else, I'm going to share a short video from our presenting sponsor, Marathon Printing. And for those of you that haven't encountered Marathon Printing before, then we highly recommend that you check them out. They're our presenting sponsor for both the conference and the webinar series, and they're amazing people to deal with. And they do a ton of printing, best known for their bibs, but I'll show the video and this will tell you more.
Marathon Printing Inc. is the presenting sponsor for the RD Masterclass webinar series and for the US Trail Running Conference. It's a family-owned business that specializes in producing custom-printed items for endurance sports. Race bibs are their most popular item, either custom-printed or stock bibs. Marathon Printing also supplies vital accessories for race directors like pins, bags, and pennant flags, as well as postcards, business cards, brochures, bumper stickers, and labels. They've also produced and helped us with the lanyards for the conference for a number of years now. They have been a loyal supporter of the US Trail Running Conference since 2015 and are also an event standard partner for our event partner, American Trail Running Association. We are very grateful to Ryan Zirk and Anthony Foster and the team at Marathon Printing for their support of this webinar series. For more details or a quote, visit Marathon Printing or email sales@marathononline.com or call 800-255-4120.
Wonderful. Yeah, we're very grateful to Anthony and Ryan and the team at Marathon Printing, and they've been a loyal supporter for a number of years for the conference and now the webinar series too. So without further ado, we haven't had our other race director join us yet, but Anna, if you'd like to start, we're going to do introductions now for the race directors we have on board here. So Anna, if you'd like to start, and
yes, of course, yes, I'll start. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Terry, for inviting me to this webinar. I'm very excited to be here. And so my name is Ana Lucia Acuña. I'm from Mexico, from La Paz, Baja California Sur. This is where I'm streaming right now. And I'm race director for the Don Diablo Trail Run. It's a 37K. We also have an 18 kilometers one. And this year I'm introducing a 50K in 2 stages, 2 days. And we also run a little, meanwhile it's happening, we also do a kids trail. So that's the main project I have. My background is as a naturalist guide. I was also a mountaineering guide in central Mexico in the volcanoes. So I come from that. I started as that, actually, as a mountaineering. And then I started getting more into the trail running. And I work for Rancho Cacachilas, which is it's a ranch. We're going to talk more about that. We're going to have more time. But mainly what we do is conservation, not only environmental, but also cultural. So that's my background, and I'm representing Don Diablo Trail Run. That's my baby.
Nice, thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Yeah, representing the shirt. That's good. The run. Okay, Paulette, thank you.
Hi, so I'm happy and honored to be a part of this panel. So thanks for having me, and I appreciate all of you that are here on the panel and also watching. So a little briefly about my background. I've been a race director for over 30 years. both smaller and then very large 8,000 person races, mostly road races at the time. And because of that, I've attended many, many road race conferences like Running USA, RCA, Road Race Management, a number of others that are smaller. But my passion for trail running combined with starting my own smaller trail race here in the South Metro of Minneapolis in Minnesota was really the reason for my first attending the United States U.S. Trail Running Conference. And I was encouraged by the legendary Nancy Hobbs to attend when it started. So because of that, I've actually been to, I think, most all of them, so Colorado, California, North Carolina, Washington, and then, of course, now in Tennessee. So I'm happy to be here to help share information on why it's great to attend this conference. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Mandy, do you want to head up next?
Yes. Good morning, everybody. I'm Mandy Mullen. I'm coming to you from Northern Colorado, and I own the Run Windsor Race Series. We just are kind of undergoing a little bit of a rebrand, not really a rebrand, but kind of undertaking a parent company called Miles Beyond, because I started Run Windsor is the name of the town that I live in, and began acquiring other races outside of Windsor. And so now we have 12 races a year. Most are road races, but I do have some ultra distance races, some cross-state relay races. So my races that kind of touch trailer that are in the ultra world include, there are 5 different events now, but we have a 200-mile cross-state relay race that people do solo from Fort Collins to Steamboat. It's 200 miles long. And then another from Idaho Springs to Buena Vista. So it hangs out on the Colorado Trail for quite a bit of time. And that's 165 miles. Again, I've always got some solo runners on there and relay runners, and then a handful of other ultra events that we put on here in Colorado. So that's kind of what we do. We've got 300 up to 1,500 people per event. And what I kind of reflected on this as I was thinking about this, like, I'm also a runner myself. And so it's been fun to grow my own running journey while I'm also growing the running journey as a race director. It's been just reflecting on, like, I started on road. Why do I do trail now as far as a race director? And it's because I started as a road runner and then I dabbled into trail running. And so I'm sure, like a lot of people on this call, it's fun to take your own personal experiences, whether you're a runner or a crew or pacer or a supporter of running. It's fun to be able to experience that world and then think, well, hey, why not me? Why can't I be the race director of something like that? So just honored to be able to do it and feel so supported by this community of people on this call. So thank you, Terry, for having us all.
Wonderful. Thank you, Maddie. Yeah, I think probably a lot of people who are trail runners can speak to have got a road background at some point, or a track background, or a mixture of both. Excellent. Thank you, Maddie. Christy, you're next up.
Yeah, thanks, Terry. Hi, everybody. My name is Christy Myers. I'm a trail running coach. I'm the assistant race director for the Prickly Pear Trail Run in San Antonio, Texas. So I run, I coach, and I race direct with the San Antonio Roadrunners. And we're a 100% volunteer run club that's really been building the running community since the 1970s. A little bit about our club. We were funded in 1973, or founded in 1973, I should say. And we're really rooted in the mission of that we're improving lives through running. So regardless, we're welcoming people at any stage of their life, regardless of age or race or gender or ability. There's a lot of inclusivity in mind with our club, and that's how we're trying to lead in the community. So we're entirely volunteer led, and that means from our board members to our race directors, our course marshals, all of our volunteers that are on the course with us. It's all coming from really a sense of community and love for the running community. And so all the funds that we get from that the events that we host, really goes back into supporting our training and supporting outreach within our community. So we have a really vibrant kind of events calendar. We will host 12 plus events in the year. Now, it's really road heavy, but we have 2 amazing trail races, and that is the Prickly Pear and the Rocky Horror. And so Prickly Pear is really kind of our flagship trail run in San Antonio. And so we have 3 on-site distances with that. We have a 50K, a 15K, and a 5K. And then we've got some virtual options, but really building around inclusivity and sustainability and community.
Thank you. Beautiful, Christy. Isn't it interesting just thinking back? So Anna, you're Diablo, Don Diablo Trail Run, and Prickly Pear, Christy, and what was the other race that you mentioned, Christy?
The Rocky Horror Race.
Rocky Horror, yeah. So I was thinking these are names that sound really attractive. I must go and do this.
Right.
It's funny how we use these kind of in-depth subliminal methods of attracting people to come to our races. So good courage to you guys. Thank you. Okay, so we also were hoping that Dale Garland, and I'm hoping that I'm going to describe this race now. He runs he's the race director for a small mountain race in Colorado. As I remember him saying at the conference last year, Hard Rock 100. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to join us. I think he was having a technical problem, but luckily he did send some information for me to share just in case he couldn't get on. So you are going to hear from him, but through me. So I apologize for that, but at least it will be his words that I'll be speaking. So that'll help. Okay, before we go any further, I'm just going to share a couple of graphics. So, there we go. Hopefully, Paulette, can you thumbs up if you can see that?
I can see it. Perfect.
You can see it. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so we're just going to show a little bit about the content for the conference. And so this is Wednesday, October the 15th, and the kind of overarching title for the day is Where Trail Running and Technology Collide. And then this is most of the content for that first day. So we have a session on state of the sport, a session on our race director mentorship program, which actually started last year. We have a session on social media marketing, and our friend Alex Ross will be presenting that. We have a session on interactive problem solving, and we're going to be doing a survey ahead of the conference to all the participants, asking them what are their top 3 major problems in terms of putting on a race. And then we're going to spend that session looking at the top problems that people reported on the survey. And then we're going to be talking about integrating AI into the sport, and then tech developments to enhance runner experience. Yeah, so that's day 1 for the conference. And so with that in mind, I'm going to share day 2 and day 3 later. But Paulette, I have some questions for you now, if you don't mind being the first off. And so the first thing is that, I'm going to ask you really 3 questions, and I'll let you answer them in turn. What are the 3 best things about the conference that you've experienced? And because you've been going for a few years, then you've seen some changes develop over time, and the conference has definitely changed organically, and our focus has changed, and our appeal, our diversity has changed. So yeah, I'd love to hear your top 3 things that you enjoyed.
Okay, awesome. So I thought about a lot of things, and I broke it down into 3 words, and I just can briefly explain what I meant behind them. And the first one is knowledge, and the second one is community, and the third one is camaraderie. So when I go back to knowledge, I'm talking about attending this conference. What you gain from the speakers and the panelists that are in the conference and a part of the conference on an annual basis, that share information is extremely relevant and relatable in the current trail running industry. For instance, this year we're doing a lot on technology, which is very important because that's ever evolving and ever growing. So as far as knowledge goes, it's relatable and to both trail running and race directing. industry, including the attending of the exhibitors that are at this conference and the vendors, because there's awesome connecting time with the vendors and the exhibitors that give every participant time to sort of connect in unique ways to maybe expand their own needs and experiences. So that's the knowledge part. The second thing that I take away from my years with this and comparing it to some of the other conferences I've been to is a community, because having both larger and notable races represented, like Western States and like Hard Rock, which are both very popular, notable, renowned trail run ultras, having those kinds of race directors there, but also the smaller race directors from all over the country, kind of emphasizes, in my opinion, how we all share the same interest. But, fundamentally, we're all about the trail running and have the same interest of the sport of trail running, and the advice and coaching between the races and between all the race directors, both large and small, is really an invaluable asset to the U.S. Trail Running Conference. That's the community part. And then last but not least, if I had to narrow it down to just 3 words, the third one was the camaraderie. Of all the conferences I've been to, and I actually have been to many in the last 30 years, the warm vibe of this conference, and much in part, is due to our founder, Terry Chiplin, who provides that warm, welcoming vibe to everybody and anybody, regardless. And the warm vibe of this conference is very much felt. And it feels, when you're there, like you're not isolated, that you're not sitting at a table by yourself, that you're talking with good and trusted friends, that support each other in the mutual growth and improvement of the sport. That camaraderie, I don't think anybody leaves the conference without making at least a half a dozen more connections that they didn't have in their life prior to the conference, that they can use, whether it's in the form of relationship of coaching or mentoring or vendors or exhibitors, what have you. So those are my top 3. It's a wonderful conference.
Wow. Paulette, thank you. I'm going to get to some tissues now. I'm going to have to.
Oh. It's all in truth.
I know it is. And for people out there that don't know you, then I know you're a very, very sincere person, and so thank you. It means a lot to me, and thank you so much for also being a keen and loyal supporter on the way through over the years. We've seen quite a lot of changes.
Yeah, and they're all good. They're all good changes, and they all lead to a great future moving forward in whatever direction trail running takes us.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I think I'm most proud of, that we've done a really good job, I think, in helping people feel welcome, whether they, we've had people who haven't even directed a race yet, but they're thinking about doing it.
Right.
And so they come along to kind of pick up tips so they can hit the ground running,
right.
rather than make a ton of mistakes on the first race. And although making mistakes is a good way to learn, but
learning from other mistakes is better.
Learning from other mistakes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then, as you say, we've also had from Western States. And, in terms of notable races, but then we've also had races that have had, a series of 2,000 runners in each race, and these kind of things. So it's, a whole complete mixture, which actually leads me neatly into a segue here. That I thought I'd give a quick update that we have nearly 60 race directors already registered at this point,
awesome.
Which puts us up on last year at the same point. And so if we keep going at this point, then at this same rate, then we're going to be setting a new record this year. We've got 19 states represented, and Mexico and Kenya. So Anna's here representing Mexico. So the Kenyan. We've got two people registered from Kenya. I don't know much about them, but I'm really interested to meet them. And the most popular state at the moment is Colorado, which is just one ahead of Tennessee in terms of overall numbers. Now, the race directors that we've had registered so far, represent more than 120,000 runners.
Awesome.
Together. Yeah. So that's a big chunk. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's a quick catch up on where we are in terms of the conference right now. So, so I'm really excited about that. And we're returning to Knoxville for the second year in a row. We're in a different location. So Paulette and Mandy, you were at the conference last year. We're going to be in the University of Tennessee Conference Center, which I think is a much more kind of professional location. So we're really looking forward to that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anna. Oh, sorry. Before we get going with Anna, I should have said to anybody that if you have any comments out there, then feel free to add a comment on the StreamYard platform here. So Kimberly, I'm sorry I missed your comment a little while ago now. So Kimberly, it's nice to have you on board here if you're still here, and we're looking forward to seeing you in Knoxville as well. And Kimberly, this will be her 7th year attending this year in Knoxville too. So yeah, so if you have any questions as we're going through or any comments, then feel free to add comments for those folks that are watching live. Okay, Anna, we'll move on to you next. So so you haven't been to the conference yet, but you're coming on the Better Together Scholarship as a recipient from our friends at the American Trail Running Association. So congratulations, first of all, on being a recipient. We're really grateful to our friends at the American Trail Running Association for being so generous and providing the funding to enable you guys to come to the conference, because that's another big thing that I'm proud of, is the work we've done to help those people that otherwise wouldn't be able to come to be able to come. And it's important that we have as diverse an audience and voice as possible. Because that way we all learn more from each other by being as diverse as possible. And everybody has a unique, different life experience, and so each of us bring those life experiences, and we put that life experience on our brand or our race or whatever it is that we're created. So so it's really important. So so Anna, congratulations. And so yeah, so my question to you is 3 things that you're looking forward to about the conference. I know you haven't been yet, but I know you have some things in mind.
Yeah, no, 3 things that I'm looking forward to. Lots of things, just making the journey. It's unbelievable. It's very exciting, and thank you very much for the opportunity as well. I think the main reason, you just said it, I feel like I've been following as a younger race director. I think I don't have as much experience as many of the people that it's gonna be there, has been there. I've been race director for 3 years now. So I think having this opportunity, it's amazing. I've been looking for more information, whether to have better ways of making the race and many like ethical ways aligned to my values, the values of my organization and the people that work with me, which is a great team. Obviously, it's not mine. It's a project and I represent a lot of people that is maintaining the trails, is doing a lot of the checkpoints. It's even people that even get honey from the bees and cheese from the goats, because we offer that as snacks on the trails. So because it's a ranch, we do the race on a big ranch, and we use many trails that were used for cattle and for in the back in the day for mining even. So there is a lot of story, and it was different ranches. So for me, what I'm looking for is new ways, and I'm very, very excited because everything that you just said, Terry, I think aligns with our values and my values of diversity. I love that about other webinars, and I've seen in the past year, I really wanted to come, I couldn't. And because I saw, that you were actually talking about inclusion and diversity. And I love that a lot. And I love how we can also that mainly, right? Like we also were here in a place where I have to make relationships with a lot of different people from different backgrounds, from different places. We have a lot of people living here that are from the United States, from Canada, and also the ranchers that has been here for a long time, and also the people I work with. And so it's very diverse, and it's a very beautiful community. So I love that also about this community in general. I think is the trail running community, and I think that's what it's very exciting to me to feel the people, being aligned with the people that have same values as I have, and I think we have the same concerns. And that being said, the second thing that I'm very most excited about, it's just talking about this. I haven't had the chance to share this information and see how I do it, how you do it in different ecosystems, right? Like I have here, it's a very arid region. It's a desert. So I have to deal with the lack of water. We have to bring water up to the mountain on mules. And then I would love to hear how people in different ecosystems deal with different things, right? Like the problem solving that you were talking about. And it's very exciting to me, and to talk about the most practical things, but at the same time we can talk the most like big things, such as how we care for the environment, how we make zero carbon races, how we make we talk the big issues, but also the smallest one, as all the signals I put on the trails, they fell off or something, or the animals attack it. Here it's our attack for coyotes, and in other places I'm sure they're attacked by bears or something, or they. So I think I'm very excited about that and hearing those experiences, whether they're smaller and practical or the big issues, like how we make more kids and women and people from other places come and start like getting people closer to the sport, like what Christy does, which sounds amazing. And I wanted to hear all about it, and everybody else, of course. And so I'm very excited about that. And the third thing is obviously making friends, just getting to know people, getting to know different places, and open up my vision, and see what we're doing in different, like in Mexico. But we're sort of like in an island. We're in a peninsula, but we are very isolated, both from Mexico and other places. So I always like willing to connect and to show what we do to the world, show people, because I think what we do is very valuable. So I'm very excited to make those connections and to show what I have to offer. Like I think where there is a race that has not been for a long time, it's a project that has been growing, and I think it's beautiful in its roots. And we have a lot to tell about culture and about environment and what the struggles are here, and what we can connect to. So I think those are the three things that I'm more excited about, and just the trip and sharing and see people that has a lot of experience and hear them out, and just sharing experiences. So yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I'm very excited and looking forward to keep talking. And there is interesting story behind the name, Terry. Now that when you mentioned Don Diablo, is actually was the nickname for a cowboy here. We have a rancher cowboy culture here. This is where everything started in the Old West, like the people you see in Clint Eastwood movies. The cowboys actually started here in South Baja, and they started going north. So we have a lot of legends, and there is a legend of a rancher / cowboy named Don Diablo, because he knew the Sierra very well. He knew all his ways. So there's a lot of interesting stories behind it, and the story and the old mines that were it was the gold rush as well. So we have a lot of things to share.
Thank you, Anna. Yeah, brilliant. That's a lot of races, don't they? I mean, focus on the history. So Hard Rock is another good example.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the history of the community and the culture there. So fascinating. I look forward to hearing more when we see you in October in Knoxville. And
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned. Something else I think that the US Trail Running Conference does a really good job of is providing the opportunity for conversations to happen. It's not. I've been to some other events where it's very difficult to really connect with people because it's so busy. A lot of them are so busy, and we've deliberately kept the conference reasonably small so that people can connect with each other. You can make friends. And so, probably everybody gets to know everybody else at the conference to some extent, and that's not always true at other event conferences like ours. So thank you for reminding me of that. That's really appreciate that. Okay, all right, Christy, you're going to be next up, but before we do that, I'm going to add another graphic here. So Thursday, October the 16th, and the overarching title here is Technological and Environmental Advances in Sport. And then we're going to show the details for the day. And so first one is technology in sponsorship and community involvement. And coincidentally, Mandy is going to be our presenter for that session. So looking forward to that one, Mandy, for sure. Then we're going to be talking about permits and relationships with land management organizations. And, that's obviously there's been challenges this year with the changes with the National Forest Service and permitting relationships and that kind of thing. So I think a really important conversation is to be had there. Then estimating emissions and understanding offsets. We have a session where meet the exhibitors. And then breaking down barriers to entry in session 1. And this session will be looking at women on the trails and the LGBTQ community as well. And then lastly, utilizing technology in event operations. And so, we're looking forward to hearing more about how technology can help race directors contribute towards making the sport safer, but also more efficient and saving time for race directors. Talking of saving time for race directors, Christy, you're next up. So I have a question for you, which is a similar question to Anna, actually. So as you've not been to the conference, I know your colleague Kimberly has been to the conference several times, but 3 things you're looking forward to from what you anticipate in terms of the conference. 3 things you're looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. So as someone who's very new to race directing, I've been the assistant race director for Prickly Pear for 1 race. Okay. And I love that you just mentioned Kimberly, because Kimberly Oakton is the race director for Prickly Pear, and she's just really taken me under her wing and provided this great mentorship. And she's really the reason that I'm going to the conference and know about the conference. And she's kind of rallied the troops down here. And we've got at least 7 people that will be attending the conference because Kimberly keeps talking it up. So I'm super excited about it. I think the first thing that I'm really, really looking forward to would be connecting with other race directors. And that's a lot of that's just because I'm so new to the field, but I'm really eager to connect with people that have been doing this for a long time. And so we all know that there's just really no substitute from learning from experience. And so I really can't wait to hear how others are just navigating their races, anything from their challenges to their successes. And, even how do they keep a race that feels fresh year after year, when maybe you've been doing this for a long time, maybe 20 years plus that this has been a standing race. So, we're very community driven as a race club, as San Antonio Roadrunners. So I just really value being part of a space that celebrates that knowledge share. So thank you for that. Thank you for kind of including that within the curriculum that we're going to be learning about. Second thing that I'm interested in would be related to social media. So kind of mastering social media marketing. We spend a lot of time on Facebook and Instagram marketing our races and our clubs, but I personally would love to get better at storytelling. And so really kind of showcasing what makes races like Prickly Pear meaningful and welcoming. We have a really incredible trail community down here in San Antonio, and I want to learn how to capture that energy in a way that really draws people to the sport. And so very much looking forward to that. And I think the third one would be recruiting and retaining our volunteers. You know, we're a 100% volunteer-led organization. And so putting on races like Prickly Pear, where you have multiple distances, you know, we're cupless aid stations, trail cleaning initiatives, it requires this really big team effort. And so I'm really curious to learn how, you know, what other races and events are doing when it comes to keeping their volunteers engaged and supported. And so I'd love to take back some creative ideas on recognition and retention and, you know, what we could use for our future events.
Brilliant, Christy. Thank you so much. I don't think there's going to be any problem that you'll find support and and ideas on all of those things that you mentioned. So thank you. Yeah, I mean you're going to have a blast. And I should also mention that Christy is also a Better Together scholarship recipient from our friends at the American Trail Running Association too.
Awesome.
So again, big thanks to them for enabling Christy and Anna here to both participate in the conference. For those of you that are listening in that don't know about the Better Together Scholarship, then effectively what the American Trail Running Association does is to provide funding support for race directors. So they provided effectively 15 race directors from across Mexico and the United States. The travel and accommodation costs up to $1,000 per person to be able to attend the conference. And then the conference, we provide a free pass for each of those individuals as well. And so, you know, the cumulative total is literally around, well, right now about $1,200 per person that's coming in terms of maximum support. So yeah, really, we haven't spoken to our friends at the American Trail Running Association yet about next year, but for anybody that's out there thinking at some point that they would perhaps like to apply, then we'll obviously share information about that as we approach next year's conference. But let's keep focused on this year. Christy, thank you so much. Yeah, we're really looking forward to meeting you in person, and thank you so much to your organization for being amazing. And Kimberly is just an incredible person, and she's learned so much, taken so much from the conference, and literally ran with it. And so yeah, it's great to see how much that's growing your community there. Okay, Mandy, you're next up. So I wondered what are your I've got, oh, here we go. Yes. What was your key takeaway? Sorry, I missed my notes for a second. What was your key takeaway? Kimberly says, pass me the tissues, please. Yeah, I think we'll make sure we need to bring some tissues for October in Knoxville, Kimberly. I think this is going to be a big tearjerker this time. Okay, Mandy, what was your biggest takeaway from conference last year? So first question for you.
So I went through the notes that I took at the conference, and I was trying to find like one takeaway of like a strategy I've implemented or biggest piece of knowledge or something. And really every topic I felt like that we went through, I learned something, even on like one of the panels I was on, you know, like things that you think like, oh, I've got my head wrapped around this, but hearing from everyone else, there was just so much growth in every single area. But taking a bigger step back, I think my biggest takeaway was the camaraderie that came out of the conference and the confidence to have the courage to continue what we're doing and continue to grow. So I saw a lot of growth personally as a race director and as a business owner coming out of this, a lot of different levels of growth. And there was like the courage to, now I'm a podcast co-host because we talked about the power of podcasting, and it helped remove a lot of that imposter syndrome in so many different ways. The courage to do new, unique things with marketing, the courage to live stream. And we've been dabbling in talking about adding live stream to some of our longer events, just kind of coming out of that. So there were a lot of good takeaways where I felt like I had more tools in my toolbox to be able to move forward with just growing our events in general. But more than anything, it was probably the camaraderie piece and the reminder that, or the awareness that this space really is inclusive of not just everyone that we're wanting to participate in our sport, but really of one another, and the support system that we have, the relationships, the constant daily, I'd say almost daily, I somehow interact with someone that I met at this conference or that I was connected to through this conference in such an awesome way. Like, we are able to celebrate our big wins together. We're there for each other when we're having a hard time. James with Mamba is, elevating and taking on a 300-mile race. And it was just so fun when he decided to do that a few months ago, that he reached out to me and we could issue process together. And that's just one example of so many. But I think it also gave me the courage to continue to be inclusive and a supporter of this sport rather than afraid of the competition that's out there. And sadly, that competition has reared its ugly face at me a little bit this year, from someone that really sees me as a competitor and wasn't welcoming of what I'm doing in the sport. And I went back to this conference and everyone I've met here, and I know that, like, that's a minority. The people that aren't welcoming of one another, I really feel in my heart that that's a minority. And this conference and this group of people have really shown me that that's not the case, that we really are, my motto in my business is stronger together. But I believe I see that sentiment here too. And I've had that. And I had a kind of a negative interaction with another race director recently. And Terry, I shared that with you. But instead of going through that negative interaction I didn't shy away. I didn't hide under a rock. I didn't think I don't deserve to be here. I said, no, I think we can continue to change the narrative, and we should grow together and provide each other with constructive feedback, with resources, with tips. We want to celebrate one another. We want to grow the sport. We want to welcome more ultra runners, more trail runners, more to the scene. And it gave me the confidence to reach out to, and this is maybe just an example of, like, I think the confidence that the conference gave me, but I went from this kind of negative interaction I had of someone trying to push me away and tell me I was not welcome in this space. And I took that as an opportunity to reach out to a new race director who's entering Colorado, who's entered my territory as well. And I reached out to them and I said, welcome to the space and let's collaborate. We both hold an ultra within 30 miles of each other. They're 2.5 months apart of one another. Let's do a belt buckle if people run both of our races, and let's cross promote each other's races. Let's not see each other as competition. And then let's share stories. What's worked for you? What hasn't worked for you? Like, how, and his reaction to that was blown away, because I think he has also been met in this space with closed doors and this unwelcome sign. And his reaction was, okay, I thought that there was still a level of, support out here. I thought that there was still camaraderie, and I'm so glad that you're welcoming me. And really, I think that just comes from this conference. And Dale invited me to the conference, encouraged me to come. Dale now lives in my part of Colorado, so he's been a volunteer at my races and been such a great mentor to me through little things all the way through big things and permitting and land use. And it's just continued to show that we really do owe it to one another to show up and get educated together and share our wins, share our losses, and be supportive, because at the end of the day, we're all probably still walking around with a little imposter syndrome, no matter if you're brand new to this as a race director or if you've been doing it for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. No one is perfect. No one has it all figured out. And we really do need something like this to bring us together and ideate and share all of it together. So I'd say that's probably my biggest takeaway. And it's changed Run Windsor. It's changed my business as a race director for sure.
Oh, thank you, Mandy. It's wonderful to hear the response you chose to the negative interactions that you had. Because it's so easy, isn't it, to, with whatever doubts you have about yourself, and as you said, nobody's perfect. No, we all have days, moments, hours, when we don't feel fantastic all the time, but we do have, every moment we have a choice, and So, I'm really pleased that you made the choice to rather than get sunk in negativity yourself, to flip it, and it's like, and that's often the best way, isn't it? To pull yourself out of that kind of situation is okay, what's the worst thing I can do? What's the absolute best thing I can do? And then and then it's like, oh, okay, that looks much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fantastic. Thank you, Mandy. And that's such a that's brilliant. Oh, more tears. Okay. My next question for you: what are you looking forward to most for 2025 for this year?
Honestly, I think from the content perspective, I think technology, it's changing so rapidly for all of us. And the technology piece is really interesting when we talk about trail running and ultra, and how it's come from what it was to where it is now, and how we keep the heritage alive, and how do we keep it kind of the rugged, rough outlet that people want, but also acknowledge technology is here and it's not going anywhere, and how do we do it? So I'm really excited to hear what others are doing in that space. It makes me laugh. A race in Colorado has been blasted because their social media, a lot of their images are totally AI generated. And so the comments are going through the roof because runners are upset that they're using an AI generated photo. However, it has 1 million comments on it. And so I think I'm just excited for like those interesting conversations about, I don't know, like that's that race director's race, and it's their decision to advertise that way. It's working. It's getting a lot of online engagement, and I'm excited to hear what everyone else in this group thinks about those different tactics, because I don't know that they're using AI to be lazy or because it looks cool. Maybe they were doing it to ruffle some feathers, and hey, it worked. So just excited to hear how other people are using it, and really just trying to be respectful of each other in that same way too, because we're all going to go about technology in such a different way. And it's fun to just, for each race director and each brand, I'm a big entrepreneurial heart. I talk about this a lot. I don't follow a roadmap with race directing. I'm a runner myself, and I've thought, what do I want to see at my race? And I'll do that. And it's unconventional. And so I loved hearing same kind of unconventional ideas that everyone else had. And it'll be fun to dive into that. And I like that that's a bigger part of the theme this year.
Cool. Thank you, Mandy. It's no such thing as bad publicity, huh? That's a great conversation to have, though, isn't it? And again, it's one of the unique things about the conference is that it is a place where people can be honest with each other. I mean, that's again, I think something we've been successful in creating is, from last year's conference, I think was the best atmosphere and environment and energy from the first moment to the last moment that we ever had, and it was also the most. It wasn't an accident. It was also the most diverse audience participation that we had as well. We had the most diverse panelists as well, and it was just, I think everybody felt they could be safe and welcome, and so as a result, conversations, I think, were much more honest and meaningful. So thank you, Mandy. That's brilliant. Okay, last question for you is, you mentioned your rebrand already, your change. So do you want to share anything about what's coming up for folks, and kind of a little bit about what you've been through?
Yeah, for sure. So I think I started off by explaining that I started Run Windsor as a women's running group. I started as a run coach, and that quickly evolved into becoming a race director of a 5K. I fell in love immediately, like a lot of you. I put on my first race. I think I had 50 people, and it was freezing cold, and I was on a mic, and the technology for me then was like very low. It was just a very grassroots operation. I didn't know what I was doing, but I fell in love immediately. and was like, oh, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And since then, it's grown and evolved into 12 races. And like I mentioned before, 5 of them have ultra distance and cross state and pulling way more permits than I can even care to pull. But anyways, in all of that, though, I've seen opportunities where I can deviate and do different things. And I've had to take a step back and decide, like, should I deviate? Should I continue to grow? Should I just master what I'm doing right here? And I've realized that I do this because I love it and it's supposed to be fun and I should enjoy it. And so if my heart is being called to mentor other race directors or focus on developing really good back-end processes and procedures I can share with others, or co-host a podcast, or, you know, all these other things that I've been doing, like I should just do that. I mean, I do this for fun. I love it. Yes, it's a business. So just full transparency. I know a lot of us are race directors for nonprofits. Others are technically a for-profit operation. Mine is a for-profit operation. And I joke someday I'll be profitable, right? But it's been, for me, just kind of deciding, like, I want to keep this fun. I want to love this. I don't want to hit burnout. And so in that growth strategy has been evolving the brand to do other things that I love, that keep me and my family feeling engaged. And so I've hired, I have 1.5 employees that are helping with the back end of everything and learning race directing. I've got an intern working with me right now as well, all to kind of teach them how to do what has to happen on the back end of the business so that I can go miles beyond Run Windsor. And so that's the new brand name, is Miles Beyond. Underneath that umbrella, I did start co-hosting a podcast. It's called the Buckle Up Podcast with Brian Pacenti. He started it with Simon. They're both really great ultra runners, and Brian's a coach. Started a year ago. Simon runs all the big races. He runs like a 200-mile, 100-mile race every other month. So he dropped off. I had the opportunity to co-host this podcast. I thought, why not? Because that's kind of the new brand. And to the point of last year's conversation, podcasting is such a great way to talk about our races, to talk about others' races, to just learn more and grow in the sport and interview more people. So I'm doing that. I am launching my race director mentorship program soon, to where people really can come underneath me and get guidance and assistance. Eventually, the goal is that, let's say Paulette's race, I'm just picking on you, Paulette, because I see you on my screen there. Paulette is starting a 5K and she wants it to kind of fit under the umbrella of Miles Beyond. She wants to take advantage of our website, our followers, and kind of the branding we have. It could still be Paulette's race, but we can find a way to kind of fit her under this umbrella, to where if anyone goes to Miles Beyond, they're also going to see her race on top of all of mine. It's also become a hub of, I just want to be a connector. And so like Terry's app, it can be found on the Miles Beyond website. You can find connections to coaches like Brian and other coaches I work with, nutrition. What else do we have? All of my favorite brands. So like Salty Britches is what I use for anti-chafing. And so it's really just becoming kind of an affiliate. Like, I want people to go to my website and feel like, what do I need in running? Do I need a health coach? Do I need a running coach? Do I need to know what races are going on? How do I get connected? So it's kind of just like this connection piece that I'm starting to build up here. Or, am I starting a business or as a race director for a nonprofit in this world, and I want some mentorship and I want to connect with Mandy and her team and get some help on building it all. That's kind of the goal. So the website is done. We probably still need to add more to it, but like right now it's starting to build up and starting to build that momentum, and I'm excited to see where it goes. We've started adding on other DBAs. So Run Greeley. Greeley's a community next to me where I also put on races. Run Colorado relay races, kind of host my 2 overnight relays. And so I'm hoping that one day there's someone in San Francisco and wants to start a Run San Fran group, and maybe it's a franchise model. I haven't quite figured that part out yet, but again, there's room to grow that kind of overreaching concept. And I think really it comes down to, like, my heart in this is being a connector. I love the community connection piece. I love teaching others about how to build their brand and their community and listening to what your community needs and wants. What do your sponsors need and want? What do your nonprofit groups need and want? What needs to happen on your trail systems to make this a success for you? And yeah, I think it just comes back to my tagline of I think we're stronger together, and that's the mission of the new brand.
Wow. Oh, amazing, Mandy. That's such a fabulous story, and I love the franchise idea. There's I mean, there's been other successful franchises like that. I'm just thinking of Moxie Mums. I don't know if you've come across them, but yeah, for example, and so wow. I look forward to hearing more. Look forward to hearing more about this, Mandy, and we'll definitely talk more when we meet up in Knoxville. Okay, so before I share the content that Dale asked me to share, I just want to do the final stage or the final day. So Friday, October 17th, in integrating diversity and alternative media into the sport. And so now the details. Oh, stay there. Okay, that's better. Okay, breaking down barriers to entry 2. So this one is going to be about ethnicity and also age and adaptive athletes. And so we got kind of 2 separate breaking down barriers to entry. So that's what the subject is going to be for this second one. Managing event insurance, day of event media coverage, recruiting and retaining volunteers, and technology-based storytelling. And yeah, so that's our kind of quick overview of the content for day 3 there. So Dale unfortunately couldn't join us. So Dale, we're sending you our love. Hope you're doing okay. And I promise you, I'm reading from my phone here. This is not stuff I've made up. This is what Dale said to me. Okay, he said his biggest takeaway: the conference is always a great opportunity to learn and network, both in the sessions as well as the one-on-one conversations that happen at breaks and dinner, etc. I also took away that no matter what experience an RD has, this is a great place to learn more and share ideas. I really appreciate the commitment to the mentorship program and have enjoyed getting to know our mentorship group, what their stories are, what their successes are, and having a group to bounce ideas off of. And what he's looking forward to: technology is an integral part of the trail running landscape. I'm looking forward to learning how we can incorporate various technologies into our event. And so he means Hard Rock there. I'm also looking forward to a discussion about how do we balance those technologies and their advantages with what has historically been something that people get involved with to escape some of the day-to-day pressures that are caused in some part by technology, which I think is a really interesting perspective. And lastly, I asked him, what are the news in terms of Hard Rock 2025? And he says, we are celebrating our 30th running. We have special programming, special merchandise, and even a special IPA. And I guess that's a beer. We are also honoring our inaugural Hall of Fame class that includes 8 foundational individuals that really helped get Hard Rock to the point it is today. We look forward to adding more individuals throughout the years who fit our criteria of, by their actions, attitudes, and abilities, have represented and contributed to the Hard Rock 100 endurance run in a positive and significant manner. Okay, so I think that's obviously, and Dale, sorry we missed you, but I think that sounds like a really good idea in terms of honoring those foundational individuals. So yeah, I wish you every success with that. I'm sure that will go down very well, especially for the 8 individuals. So, okay, so we've reached the end of our webinar, the end of our session, and Anna, Paulette, Mandy, and Christy, thank you so much for taking the time to share your experiences at the conference or what you're looking forward to. For Christy and Anna, Yeah, look forward to seeing you all in Knoxville in October. And yeah, for those of you that are live out there, then if you haven't registered already, then I'm going to be sending out the recording of this session. So I'll be sending that out tomorrow, and so I'll have a discount offer for anybody that hasn't registered who would like to register, and we'd obviously love to see you. The last thing is the next session. The next session for this webinar RD Masterclass series is a live stream 101, and it happens on July the 29th. And so we've got some technology experts on talking about live streaming. And Mandy, no doubt you'll listen into this one. I'm sure you'll be interested, and I'm fascinated to hear kind of what you're doing as well with live streaming and for your races too. So yeah, so thank you everybody out there. Appreciate your support for the US Trail Running Conference, and take care everybody. Look after each other. Lots of love to you all, and
thank you.
Look after this planet. It's the only one we have.
Yeah.
And, yeah, the session we'll finish the session now. But Anna, Paulette, and Mandy and Christy, if you don't mind staying on for just a minute. The end video will come through, but I hope to be able to still talk to you at the end.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, bye-bye now.
Bye. Thank you.